Hi guys, welcome back to a new episode of Amplify. You know who I never had on the show? An actress. So in the previous episode, Jean Bewley helped me out with it. Let's take a look at it.
My friend, Celina Skailand, she's really amazing. She's an actress and a writer and a director. She's just, yeah, wonderful. She's really talented and she inspires me a lot by being so passionate about what she does. So,
Is it the girl who did the movie you made the soundtrack to?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
I really love talking to Celina about how she manages combining her artistic life because she's an actress, a writer, and a director, but she also combines all of it with being a substitute teacher. So, without further ado, our guest, Celina Skailand.
Right. First of all, I just gotta say, I think it's so good what you're doing. You know, reaching out to artists and wanting to, promote them and all. I think it's really good.
I know that I have a lot of artistic friends and a lot of artistic people around me. Why not to try and create some visibility for others? And honestly, yesterday evening I watched your movie, which is called uh, Woman Called Dana.
Woman named Dana, yes.
Dana. Your facial expressions is like priceless.
Oh,
Really.
thank you.
It was awesome. It just, I don't know who, I think Jean Boulay directed the movie. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how, I mean, what was your like contribution to the role in terms of like, okay, now we have to do it this way or something, but the expressions you have and everything was written on your face is priceless, especially at the beginning, the moment when you're watching the water. It's like it's priceless. Seriously, I would give, if I could, I would give you an Oscar because I was
Thank you.
so mesmerized by your act. It was really awesome. So uh, okay, let's start with welcome to Amplify.
Oh,
So
thank you. Thank you.
you've been nominated by Jean Boulay,
Yeah.
and tell me about your relationship with her. Like your friends, you are partners in terms of collaboration.
Yes, I mean, she is one of my closest friends, and we met while I was in 10th grade, and we were in the same class, and we just started bonding over TV shows, actually. And she was just, I thought she was so beautiful when I first met her, and she was singing a lot as well. And um, we went on, both of us went to drama school for
Mm.
3 years, and she did drama then, but then she discovered that music was something that she was more well, felt more natural to her, and
Mhm.
so she's inspired me so much. I started writing music myself just last year because of her and learning to play the guitar, and she's a huge inspiration for me, and I've known her for many years now, and we've even lived together. When we lived in London, we lived together, and so
You also lived in London.
yes, we lived together, and so yeah, she's an amazing person.
And what about the beginning? Where did you grow up? What did you study? Where did you study? What's your
Well,
background?
I grew up in a very, well, not even a town. It's a very small place in Norway. Not very many Norwegians know about it.
Mhm.
Um, and it's a very secluded place surrounded by forests and mountains. And so my childhood was really just spent outside, or even at home, drawing and being creative. And I think my love for acting really started when I was really young, because we used to play pretend a lot. And so I don't know if that's even what you call it, but role playing, I guess. And we created these like elaborate characters and stories, and so we did immerse ourselves completely in those. And so we would draw the characters and create different worlds, and new things would inspire us all the time. And so I had a very like creative childhood growing up, um, and yeah, I didn't do anything special other than drama for 3 years when I was older. Um, Other than that, I haven't really done any more studying. After that, I moved to London a year after I was finished um, with like 3 years. We call it videregående. I don't really know what it's called. It's like upper secondary school.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, something like that. I don't really know the English term for it, but and I've stayed in London on and off for the last 3 years with Jean, and yeah, so.
Did you study in London something like drama?
No, nothing. I mean, the only thing that I did was really be on a lot of acting sites, like submit self tapes all the time, constantly, and um, I was on sites like Backstage and Spotlight and Mandy Actors, and I just went on auditions. Really, that's what I did in London.
Did you succeed to get into some, I don't know, small TV shows, screens on anything?
Well, not TV shows, but I did do a lot of short films when I was there, and but when I came back to Norway, I did a couple of commercials here in Norway, which it's a bit funny to watch myself like that because I'm not really playing a character. I'm just myself in like weird scenarios, and but yeah. So I've done that, and I'm still right now auditioning and trying to get
Yeah.
that role that gets me some more roles, and yeah.
What was the first thing you did as an actress?
Well, the very first like professional thing I did was a short film. I think that was like back in 2015 or something, which was this short film called Guilty in English, but in Norwegian it's called Skyldig.
Jeg når ikke bare kan være i skolen. Gjør du ikke det? Ikke vente lenge for dette øyeblikket her.
It's this very interesting character. It's about like this revenge tale of this girl who got bullied in school, and her getting revenge on the people who bullied her. And that was my first encounter with professional acting, and that just opened up a whole new world for me and wanting to really like 100% pursue acting. So that was my first sort of real thing, but my first sort of brush with acting has got to be when I was younger and I made short films with my friends. So.
What was the most exciting that you did so far? Which of the movies? Because I watched your show reel where you put together a couple of plays of yours. They all look super professional. Which one is the most exciting for you? Which one you're the most proud of?
Well, it's kind of difficult because, some of the things I've made myself or written myself, and a lot of the production goes, for example, with A Woman Named Dana, I wrote the script for the film and I was, in with the editing process. I was, so, a lot of my own thoughts and creativity has been, poured into these short films that I've made with my friends, but I think, like up till now, I think that A Woman Named Dana actually definitely is one of the things that I just feel most proud of making, because we made it in such a short amount of time, and it was so intense, and I felt like, well, it was I could really focus on my acting in that one.
How long did it take to film everything for The Woman Named Dana?
It took about 2 days, I guess, to film that one. But the editing process was pretty heavy, and but it was such a fun time, trying out different ways and different directions with Jean in that film, because it's so, it's a lot of crying and a lot of really powerful emotions, and yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, but pretty exhausting as well to shoot.
When I was watching your show reel, I had the feeling that you prefer to play more like roles of terrified girls, maybe more like thrillerish? Is it something by choice, or it's
I mean,
just
I'm really I like the films that or the genre that I like the most in films. In film is has got to be like psychological thrillers. I really enjoy that. But I love writing characters that are sort of, I don't know, ambiguous in terms of the gender. Like it could be a man playing this role or it could be a woman playing this role. It's not specific. And so I think that, you know, with A Woman Named Dane, obviously I had myself in mind when I wrote the character, but I just love playing characters that have some sort of, you know, interesting background that is not, because I have played characters before that have been sort of one-dimensional and hasn't had a lot of emotion or anything important to, you know, bring to the story. And I just feel sort of useless when I do those roles. And I don't know, you know, just these filler roles, I guess. And I just gravitate more towards roles that are really challenging, I guess, to play.
And now, since you've done a couple of movies, a couple of commercials, you have your show reel. So this is something that you're sending out to different agents, or how does
Yeah,
it work?
yeah,
Wait.
I'm trying as hard as I can really to do that. And I've been, you know, having a couple of meetings with agents, and actually just in February of this year, before Corona and everything, me and Jean had just moved back to London. We're trying to like get into the groove again, and I contacted like all of these different agents and casting, you know, agencies and stuff. But a couple of weeks later, everything was in lockdown in Norway, and it just everything we had to fly back to Norway, and it's just, you know, all the things that or all the emails that I sent out probably just didn't get picked up because of that, because of everyone just, you know, freaking out about this. So, but you know, it's difficult being an outsider and trying to, you know, come into this industry without knowing anyone. It's really difficult.
What about local movie industry in your area?
Well, there isn't. I mean, the only local industry, well, film industry people that I know are me and my friends. And I come from such a small town. It's like you got to go to the capital if you want to, or Stavanger, which is an hour away from where I live, to really, you know, get that professional film industry people. But no, it's not very big at all in Norway, and in Norway it kind of works that way. If you know anyone in the industry, if you're the you know, daughter or cousin or whatever of someone in the industry, that's, you know, your ticket in immediately, and you know, you get yeah. So that's, it's kind of difficult being from where I'm from, and having to figure it all out myself, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, I spoke to Stuart James. He's a horror writer
Mhm.
who released around 5 books. One of his books was 19 Weeks in the top charts of the United States.
Wow.
And what we were surprised about, that he still, after having written 5 books, he doesn't have an agent who represents him. And he says it's practically impossible to find an agent, but it never stopped him to writing. So this is something that was very inspirational to me. Like you don't have to stop if something is not going well. You don't have to have an agent 100% to achieve something. So I don't know how it's in the cinema industry, but I hope if you can do it without an agent, then I wish you do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty difficult, and I've seen you as well. You do music and write music and do covers as such, and it was lovely. I listened to it last night. Um, and it is difficult. I mean, when I look at someone like Jean, for example, who, again, like I look up to in terms of her writing, her music and poetry and all that, and seeing like I want her to get so much more recognition than she does, and it's so difficult because I just want to, you know, show everyone how talented she is, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, you just got to be lucky, I guess, in this line of work that someone discovers you or something. So
Yeah. Or you just like really work your ass off and just do whatever you want. But in the end, it comes to the point if you're happy or not, and you have to kind of do whatever makes you happy every day without feeling the pressure of do you have an agent or no, but really do whatever makes you happy.
yeah, you
Uh,
just got to work for it. And I mean, like with me as well, I don't just want to do acting. Like I that is my biggest passion, but you know, writing in general, writing poems, writing music, and all that is I'm very passionate about that as well. But filmmaking and acting is what, like, that's my top, you know,
mhm.
the biggest thing that I'm passionate about. And you know, for me, making films, like filmmaking, writing characters, and shooting it, and being like super involved in the process of making the film is, you know, helps me in a way as well, because I'm not just sitting here like waiting for the roles to come to me, or searching, like looking up roles and trying to apply to different roles. It's like I can write them myself and act, you know, particular roles that I want to play. So I guess like with anyone, like with you as well, like the only thing that you really can do is get content out and do the best work that you can, and just get it out so that people can get an idea of who you are and what you want to do. And that's why, you know, it's so good to see with you as well, the covers that you've put out. I mean, it's so good because you got to get that content out for people to, you know, see you and appreciate it.
I also am a supporter of the idea that it's not everybody needs to like you, and also uh, you don't need to be validated by somebody's likes, or I don't know what's happening now in the social media world, which made me very angry recently. A woman named Dana. So where is the inspiration from? What
Well,
inspires?
well, the first thing, like with the woman named Dana, I think the restrictions of the film, well, the restrictions that we put on ourselves is really what inspired me, because at this point, we made True North, which is another short film that we made a year prior to A Woman Named Dana.
There's this story about a girl. Her grandfather had a house up in the woods.
And it's just, I mean, we set so many restrictions for ourselves because, like, we didn't have a lot of actors. We just had me, basically. And
Jason, who was on the phone? Jason
yes,
or
well, his name is Mark Wisdom, who plays James, who
yeah.
is an actor who I met in London. Fantastic actor. And I don't know, like I just called him up and was like, do you want to do this? And then he just sent over the voiceover work, and he's so talented. So that was an easy feat. So that's good. But really the inspiration for A Woman Named Dana, again, like it came out of the restrictions. Like we couldn't go to a lot of locations. And just from that, the way that I sort of write these characters is that I just start talking to myself, really, and trying to pinpoint, like, where is she from, like why is she talking to this person, and why. And then I started like talking to this random James on the phone, and I don't know, it's just I just try to just have this monologue, I guess, with myself, and try to make characters out of that. And so just all the restrictions came down to, I wanted it to be in like a hotel room, and just everything, honestly, again, it came out of the restrictions. And I think that's, you know, interesting to because if you think that if you're going to write something and you know, you have everything at your disposal, like everything is open, then, you know, it's going to be difficult in a weird way, because anything can happen. But if you put these restrictions on yourself, it's like, okay, I know that you can't really have a lot of actors. I can't go to a lot of, you know, fancy big locations. I want it to be short. We don't have a big crew. okay, let's, do this. So so yeah, that's really how it manifested itself.
And when you were filming the scene in the hotel room, how many people were there? Like probably one for the sound, one for the camera, yeah? Or how
Yeah,
does
and in that particular shot, Jean obviously was right there by my side, directing me, and you had a cameraman and this one guy who was doing the lights, flickering lights,
the light
and
work very good in that scene?
I'm pretty proud of it because it's like it's so cool because we only had like this, like we DIY'd the whole thing, so we had like this I don't know, like paper cardboard thing, and we glued like lights to it, and we put it outside the window.
It's just so weird. And it's not. The medication doesn't help.
Just focus on an angle in your room. Study that angle and breathe. The tall man is not coming to get you. He is not real.
And then that's like the lighting. So but yeah, and we were what 4 or 5 people, and then I had a person. I had like these wireless headphones, which is where I got the other person on the other line talking to me. But this person was in another room, who wasn't an actor, was just like reading the lines. And so, yeah, it was quite, it was an interesting experience. But we really didn't need any more people than who we, were at the time. So.
Do you remember some funny moments from the set? Like, for instance, you're trying to record the scene and the guy in your ear tells you like, ha, 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 or something,
Yeah, I mean, every time, like, because sometimes, it's such a long monologue for me to just talk and no one is there. And so there were a lot of times where, the stale, sort of stark, unenthusiastic voice of this other person on the phone was just like, you're not really giving me much to work with, but I was so tired of my own voice at the end of that because I was just constantly like crying, and we were just laughing all the time about, I was talking, okay, we're doing this, and then I started, crying immediately afterwards. And so it's just, yeah, it was a really fun time and really like hectic. We were like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to shoot it, and then we're going to just, go in the editing room. And so everything happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, nice. What's next for you? What's in 2021?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, this November, actually, this past weekend, we had scheduled to shoot another short film that I wrote a couple of months ago now, which is called Method to My Madness currently. And we shot this film, 4 years ago, this short film, but we didn't have any funding to it. And it was just, I mean, it was all right, but we were so young when we shot it. And so we wanted to keep the idea because we liked the idea and just change some key things, but keep like the concept of the film. And so we redid the entire story, and I wrote the script, and got financial support, which we haven't done for anything, like gotten for anything that we've done so far. So we're super excited by that. But because of COVID, we couldn't really shoot it now. So it's gotten a lot like tighter on the restrictions, a lot more strict in Norway. And so we had to postpone it indefinitely at this point. But I'm really excited to shoot that one because it's like a much bigger project than what we've done before. So I'm really excited for that.
And about financial support, is it something you have to apply for, or how does it work?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you have a couple of like organizations in Norway that you can apply to, but you have like there are multiple deadlines and requirements for it. So it can be quite difficult to get financial support, and it's very restrictive what you can spend the money on. So that's also sort of difficult, but we've made it work with the money that we got, which was a lot more than we anticipated.
Man, you're really talking about?
I mean, it's not like a lot, but I mean, it's a lot for us. It's like it's not that much. I mean, to a proper like short film or film production, it's nothing. But for us, like not having any money prior to this and in making films, it's like we feel like we could do anything. So
It's like a, now
hmm?
it's like a now it's like a salary. You
Yeah.
feel like
But that's the thing, like that's one of the things that we can't do with it. We can't give us money and we can't give actors or crew money. The only thing that
Yeah.
we can spend it on is like props and locations and stuff like that, which is good in a way, but it sort of breaks my heart as, you know, an actor myself to not be able to pay other actors and you know, because that's one of the things that me and Gina talked about a lot, is the thing that if you're an up and coming artist or a new artist, for her, for example, if she does gigs, Jean, uh, you know, for people to not expect to pay her for her work, it's like,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah, it's difficult. And a lot of like singers as well, like they're like, yeah, no, I don't need money. I just want to sing. And it's like, I get the enthusiasm, but it's like, it's difficult for other people to, you know, live on like to get financial support or to, you know, get by without getting any money for work, really, because that's what you're, you know, doing work for other people. So
Yeah, art is something that should be paid all the time, but it's also something that should not be taxed because,
yeah.
I mean, it's literally your creation. So, do you already have a team you're comfortable working with?
Yeah, I mean, I love working with Gene and a friend of mine called Alexander Svanes. He's a great, like he has worked for a lot of like big series, like big shows here in Norway, and he is just really a great filmmaker, and he does all the camera work and editing, and he knows a lot about it, and so like this small little team of that we've created now, developing stories and writing scripts, and you know we're so comfortable with each other now, and so which is hugely important, that you don't feel any like pressure, or you don't feel you know, scared about taking certain choices acting
Yeah,
wise, or so yeah, I'm really comfortable and really love the team that we've managed to get.
that's nice. Um, Tell us a bit about your daily routine. How do you see your perfect day, or what do you want to do every day?
Well, my perfect, like my routine now is a lot different from what I uh, would have wanted it to be. I mean, right now I work as a substitute teacher, and so
Okay.
yeah, so I do that on the side, and it's really, I mean, brilliant when I do the things that I do, because if I get a call saying, "Hey, can you do like take these and these classes or whatnot and substitute for this and this teacher," I can say no if I want to, or I can take it if I want to. So if I have an audition or if I have something big coming up, I can just say no, and then it's all right. So that's really, it's just so you know, malleable. It's fantastic. But you know, I do that, and usually I try to get in some work every day, something creative, if it's painting, if it's, you know, writing poetry or music or characters or anything like that. So I try as best I can, but you know, I if all this COVID stuff wasn't happening, I would have probably been in London at this point. But you know, what can you do?
Do you do something like morning pages?
You know what? I try as best I can to get at least some like writing session, you know, no matter what it is, during a day. But I'm really bad at like routine stuff, and so I mean, it would be great to try and be, you know, be pretty consistent with that. But I'm the kind of person who, if I'm inspired by something, I'm gonna write it down or record it into my phone, if it is anything, and then you know I'll try to work on it and write in the evenings or something like that.
Do you have like a specific advice for creating a character?
For creating a character, I mean, it's so difficult. Like I studied drama, and so you know I have these you know, acting methods that is helping me has helped me in the past. It's like Stanislavski and which is like the basic one that everyone learns about if you go to drama school. But for me, honestly, it's just you know, if the character has any historical you know, is represented in history in some way, or has an illness or has a background somewhere, you know, just do a lot of research. And for me, creating characters such as Dana, and a woman named Dana, like she's she suffers from a mental illness, and the specific one is schizophrenia. And I did a lot of research on that and saw a lot of videos of people having it, like in various degrees, because this particular character of Dana is on the breaking point where, you know, she just cannot tell if the voices are real or if they're, you know, fake. And so I did a lot of work on. I just think it's important to do the work, you know, not just to show up and be like, hey, I just practiced these lines. You know, it's just, you got to really do the work and figure out, you know, the basics of the character, why the person is saying you know, the thing that they're saying. And yeah, I think it's really important.
Where do you take the inspiration from? Is it something you need to push hardly, or is it something that comes to you just as you say, you record something in your phone, like whenever, wherever? Or is it something you have to sit down and like really push? Okay, I want to write about this character, so I need to really brainstorm.
I mean, it's different each time, I think, with you know, different characters that I write, or different poems, or whatever it is I'm writing. I tend to, you know, spend a lot of time just talking to myself, and walking and talking constantly, and just feeling, you know, saying certain sentences out loud multiple times. And this one particular line in A Woman Named Dana, where I say, the character says, he's going to take my vocal cords and drown them in the river so I can't talk again. That was one of the sentences that came pretty early up in my head. And I just started like really thinking about that. Like, why would she say this thing? Like, why, you know, why is this natural for her to say? Like, what type of person says this? And that just sort of fueled everything. And so I'm very much a person who, if I'm inspired by something, I gotta write it down quickly, and I gotta just, you know, get it down. And so that's what I do.
I forgot to ask, what do you teach?
Whatever, you know, whatever it is that day. And for example, today I was in 9th grade a lot of my day, and it's just, you know, anything from maths to science to Norwegian, English.
Like this, anything from math,
Yeah.
science.
well, it's not that I'm really great at it, but it's just I actually do love teaching, but you know, there's some subjects that I'm not very you know, they're not my best, but I do love English, for example, and you know, creative subjects. I love that.
Is it easy for you? I mean, when you are a teacher, do you feel like you're taking up a role, or it's more like it's you?
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, the way that I act when I'm a teacher is a lot different from who I am in real life. I'm very strict, and it's yeah. I mean, it is quite difficult to try. Like, for example, the students that I taught today, like, they're not that much younger than me. They're like 7, 8 years younger than me. So it's not like a lot, but so it's kind of difficult to, you know, separate without talking to them like almost they're my age, you know, and being very much trying to be more adult than I am, I guess. So but it is quite fun. Like, I really do enjoy teaching, and I think that if I didn't do acting or anything creative in that sense, I would have probably tried, you know, try doing that.
I was always wondering if acting is exhaustive.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
do
I
you feel?
guess it can be. I mean, it is really fun, but you get kind of, I mean, with a character that's very lighthearted and doesn't really, you know, take a lot of you, it's like a lot of standing around and a lot of, talking to crew and talking to other actors who are probably standing and waiting as well, which is fun because connect with so many people. But I think it's yeah, it is exhausting, but it is so worth it. I love playing characters that sort of drain me, and then you have to reset. So yeah.
What's your favorite moment of actually acting and then seeing your actual work on the screen?
Well, I mean, that has to be the first thing I told you about that I did, called Guilty, which is, I think, in my show reel. It's like one of the last things that I have in my show reel. I have like black hair. I can't really remember where it is, but I remember when I first saw, like, we did the whole thing, and then we waited. I can't remember how long, but they rented out this cinema, and we got to see it like on a big screen. And I
Oh,
was
wow.
just, yeah, I was just so amazed. Like, I was like, what? That's me on screen? Like, it was so surreal. And, watching the whole cinema was full of people, and everyone was like watching, the story on screen. And I was in this film, it was so surreal. So, and I was really young at the time. I was like 15, 16. And so watching myself like that was, such an amazing moment for me, and really wanted me to, obviously I saw the mistakes that I felt like I made, but I was really proud as well. I can't really, say that I wasn't.
Is there something new that you would like to learn? Any new skills?
You know what? I mean, not to sound, melancholic or sad or anything, but I would really love to learn how to, appreciate my days more, and especially now in these COVID times, to, really appreciate every single day, because, this year I turned 21, and I'm never going to get this year back. It's like, I'm 21 for this year, and no matter, how many horrible things have happened this year, it's like I have to appreciate it more. And, that's something that I really am working on, learning to, appreciate every single day.
That's really wonderful. Do you meditate, or do you do something like more for mental health?
I mean, I have struggled a lot with my mental health, through my, in my early adulthood and teenage years. But when I found out that, through acting, really, I get this catharsis in a way. And for me, again, like painting really helps me calm down, and listening to music. I've recently bought a lot of vinyl records, and I try to listen to that as much as I can. So, and that really, listening to Billie Holiday, for example, it just calms me down.
God, but I love her so much. Really.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also have her on vinyl, and John Coltrane.
Right.
He's more jazz. I really love them. And Billie Holiday, Stormy Weather is my favorite song, and it's like I really love it.
She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy her.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to be an actress or an actor? Like, where to start?
I think the most important thing to know, which is something that I still try to, understand myself, is what what can I do for this industry? Like, why am I not like everyone else? And I think it's difficult to get a grip on why this, why you, particularly you as a person, is going to make it, or why people need you. And I think, for me, that's been one of the most important things to figure out. Like, there's so many who look like me, who can act better than me, who have all these traits that I don't, but are in the same category as me in terms of, looks, and in terms of voice or whatnot. It's just finding out, what's special about you, and how you can contribute to this industry, because there's so many people who want to become actors and singers or whatnot, and it's just, you need to be you know, there's got to be something different about you, and you got to find out what that is and use that as your strength. So yeah, I think that's, if I can give any advice in terms of where I am now, that's, I think, what's most important.
Would you recommend reading a special literature or a special school to study acting, to learn acting?
I mean, for me, that's sort of difficult because I guess I feel like if you want to do acting and if you're really passionate about it, it's not something that you can particularly learn. I mean, you can get better at it and learn new things, but it's something that has to, you know, intrinsically sort of live inside of you. You have to have it like come naturally in some way. And I know that a lot of people who don't think they're a good actor and then they start, you know, researching all these techniques and all that they get really good. But I think you just, well, it's important to watch movies, to learn, to listen, to study people. I think that's like, me and my dad do that all the time. With like, look at people and like, what do you think that, you know, he comes
Oh.
from? Or yeah. So I mean, my dad has done it, you know, my whole life, and you know, finding all these backstories of people walking by, and you know, where's she been? You know, where's he up to? You know, what is he up to, and all that. So yeah, it's important to be interested in people, I guess.
Is there a movie already where you really would like to play the character?
I mean, there's so many. I mean, I recently just watched Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock. And, you know, it's one of the classics. I haven't watched it until now. And Grace Kelly in that film, you know, her character is so interesting. And I guess, you know, looking at it from all the films that come, you know, are coming out now, where, you know, this female empowerment, and I think it's so beautiful. But then you look at like older films and you had these strong female characters that were just, you know, we've just forgotten about. So I think it's crazy to think that you know, you have so many greats you know, back in the day as well. But looking at something like Midsommar, for example, Florence Pugh, which is the lead actress in that film, she's so good. But that would have been a fantastic role to play. I would have been like, oh, it's such a cool film, and I would love to, you know, play a character like that.
Who's your favorite director?
Oh, it's so difficult. I mean, there are so many auteurs, as they call them. You know, like innovative, like people, directors who have their own vision and really portray that on screen, and everything, in the music and everything. But you know, I can't really lie if I don't say like David Lynch, for example. Like I'm so inspired by him. But I also love like Robert Eggers and obviously Ari Aster and the Safdie brothers are amazing as well. There's so many great ones.
Tell us, please, where can we find you?
Well, I'm on Instagram and I'm on Spotlight. I'm on Facebook as well. It's just Celina Skailand, and it's my acting page, and obviously celinaskailand.actor@gmail.com. And yeah, I try to be more active on Instagram, but I'm kind of bad at it. But I try to be more active because it's a great platform to put out.
And if there are some movie directors watching this, where can they find your show reel?
They can find it on my Vimeo page, but also on YouTube, my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Celina Skailand. And obviously contact me through Gmail or something like that. And also a bunch of different acting sites. You'll find me on pretty much all the
Everywhere.
Yeah, just everywhere.
User left, I lost.
I think the only thing that I don't have is like Snapchat and Twitter. It's like the only thing that I don't have, or TikTok. I don't have TikTok either. But yeah, so you can find me everywhere except for that.
That's nice. Well, that was lovely chatting to you. Let's go to my trademark question. Who do you want to amplify?
Right. I mean, that was so difficult because I've met so many great people, especially in London. And obviously, I would have wanted to, you know, amplify Jean if I could, but she's already been. But there is this fantastic artist who's called Ocean and the Waves. She's so brilliant, and I haven't personally met her, but I follow her, and her and Jean has had some interactions, and she's just this amazing singer-songwriter. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna reach out to her then.
Right, great.
Well, Celina, it was very nice chatting to you. Thank you very much for taking this time and participating in the show. And
Yeah, me too. You're such a great interviewer, and I would love to watch you grow in it as an artist as well. And I'm so happy for you with all this that you're doing, and it's such a great way to reach out and promote people and
yeah,
stuff.
also a great way to just learn about people and to communicate with other people. I mean, we don't have to be anywhere, let's be honest. So it's
Yeah.
we are just, let's at least chat like that.
Yeah. But I just think it's amazing, and I hope that you pursue, the music and all you're doing as well. And it's yeah.
That's
You're such a
kind of,
bubbly, fantastic person. It was so lovely to talk to you.
thank you. Thanks a lot, really. My heart is so warm right now.
Thank you very much for every single stream, for every single share and comment and like. Please write in the comments if you want me to release the bloopers, because there are a lot of them. Thank you and have a good Saturday night.